Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this video, you're welcome. Subscribe, comment below and like this video. Once again, this is Eve's Diary by Akinyi, and I would like to do part 3 or part 2 of Get to Know Me and Childhood. So it's basically my story, and I'll do it maybe like I said, in 3 parts or wherever it fits. So, as I'd said before, I I moved to my sister's place. And there were inches between me and her. If you have not watched the other part of this video, maybe you'll find trouble connecting the dots, so you can go back and watch. So there were inches between the two of us, and maybe what I thought that would happen normally did not happen. And life was not as comfortable as maybe I thought. That maybe coming to Nairobi, joining my sister, I thought it would be I thought it would be a good life. I thought that things would go well as I had anticipated, and anyone else could think the same. Being a child, that is what I thought, that maybe now life was smiling at me. So I'd said that we did not get along well with my sister. We were not in good terms almost all the time, ever since she started doing whatever she was doing to me. And these things that she started them when I was in class 3. That is now the grade 3 now. I was in class 3 when she started doing these things. And if you're the one who is taking care of the home and you're going to school and being a child, you reach a point that you get so tired, you get overwhelmed, because all these things you're supposed to do them on a daily, and go to school, and you have so many things to do at the same time. So fast forward to when now I'm about class 5, 6, and in the other classes, nobody had taken a keen interest at what was going on in my life, because I dropped drastically in class. I could not concentrate, I could not perform, and I was a performer at grade 2 and 3. I was a performer. So when I get grade 4, 5, 6, I dropped drastically. And there was a teacher who was brought to our school, and fortunately he became my class teacher. So he was he was he was interested to know the reason why I had dropped drastically, because he when he goes through my results from when I was in grade 3, I was doing okay, but now 4, 5, I'm losing the way. 5, you get home, maybe you get home by 5:30. You're supposed to wash utensils that you found maybe she used during the day. You're supposed to do the laundry. You're supposed to go cook. After cooking, you're supposed to wash those utensils. Then sleep. Now, by the time you are sleeping, and then this teacher comes and takes a very keen interest about what is going on with me. And at first, he noticed that I was getting to school late. Yeah, I used to get to school very late, because we were supposed to be at school by 6:30, but most of the time I'll get to school by maybe 7:20, 7:30, because the parades were held at, if it was days that we were going for parades, it will be held at 8. So maybe I'll get to school by maybe 7:30. And remember, when you're in these upper classes, you're supposed to have morning preps. or the remedials in the morning. So getting to school by 7:30 would only mean that maybe you have missed an hour of these remedials. And also, apart from remedials, you're supposed to have your own personal time in that in the morning before the teacher comes at 7, and then you have a remedial from 7 to 8 just before parade. So getting to school at 7:30 would mean that you're going to find a teacher in class. You do not even want, your body is already tired. You do not even want to do any other thing. And imagine maybe you have homeworks and you want to do these things. It is so hard for you to do them. It is so hard. You can't. And it's not like you are a grown up who is 20 years and maybe is in college. You are just in class 6. By class 6, that means maybe 12, maybe you're 12 years, 11, 12, thereabout. At this moment in your life, you're supposed to be sleeping for certain hours just for your body to function well. This sleep is taken away. Again, this is somebody that you cannot approach. There was not any time that I remember that I ever talked to my sister as friends. For between me and her, it was just instructions. You do what she says, and that's it. So when this teacher comes to this school and inquires, I open up to him and I tell him this and this is what I'm dealing with. And even if it's coming to school late, I cannot avoid coming to school late because I wake up at this time, I do this and this, and I have to do them perfectly, then come to school. And I also sleep late. So this teacher, I think he talked to the other teachers because he was not the only one who would be on duty. So he talked to the other teachers, and maybe he shared what he could share just to try find solutions. So I was always excused. I was excused from coming to school early. I thank God. I remember something that always made me in the morning. I would be so pained that there were my friends. I had friends who we were with in the same class. So when they were going to school, they could pass by where we were living, and they could find me on the hanging lines, hanging clothes. And imagine they are going to school. Maybe it's let's say it's 6:30, and you still you are I was already in my uniform, and because I'd washed clothes the previous day, I was supposed to put those clothes on the hanging line before going to school. So I don't know how they understood, because my classmates never questioned me about about what they even saw. But I think maybe they just thought that was normal. And so, and my teacher, this was my class teacher up to class 8 when I did my KCPE. He contacted my uncle. My uncle was also was he was not a teacher, but was I'd say part of the management in that school. But he never used to come to that school as much, because the main offices were not in that school. They were somewhere else. So he reached out for my uncle and told him your niece is going through this and this. So if you can talk to her sister and tell her at least to understand that this child needs to learn without being bothered, it will be good. And my uncle, one day my uncle comes to the school and I'm called, and I go and he asks me, what is going on in your life? I'm told this and this has happened and you can't even tell me. And for me, I had fear. I did not want to share it with anyone that could reach my sister. So I just opened up because now it has reached, it has already, he has already been told everything. So I only said my part, and I said that is what has been going on and that is why this and this is happening. So my sister, my uncle called my sister and told her, please give Christine ample time. Let her be, let her be a child at this age, because it is now that she's looking for life, and she's supposed to be allowed to live the way children live. If you want her to help you, she can help you in the weekends. But making her do these things every day before school is hurting her, and is not giving her ample time for school studies, and she cannot even study at home, and her teachers are complaining. Little did I know that this would be the beginning of the roughest part of my life. My sister changed for worse. I remember that day I came back home and she sat me down and asked me, huh? I'm told you've gone to school and snitched me that that I'll say this in Kiswahili, that nakutesa. Nakutesa means I'm maltreating you. And now I know what to do. I have a solution. So me, when she said she has a solution, I I what clicked in my mind was she's going to take me back to my mother, and that is what I wanted. At this point, I was so tired. I just wanted to I just wanted to be rescued. Up to this point, my mom had not known what was going on. And from when I joined my sister in Nairobi, when I was in class 3, up to this class 6 that I was in, I'd not gone even to see my mom. We could not even talk on the phone. She could just tell my sister, oh, greet so and so, but my sister could not allow me to talk to her. So when she said she had a solution, I was happy. I knew finally I'm going home. Or I knew that she's going to tell me that now you go and stay with that uncle of yours. My sister told me. And when he notices that I'm always late, and most of the time I've not done my homework, and he started inquiring from other teachers, and when he had not found maybe his answers, he decided to ask me what is going on in my life, what was going on in my life. And I opened up. I At first I didn't tell him like everything, but I just opened up because at this time, you know, I'd gotten at a place that I feared my sister, and I thought that maybe telling someone else or telling a third party about what I'm going through would be like being a snitch. And I was I all I wanted was just to my sister told me, you've not seen the worst of me. You've not seen the worst of me. And from today, there will be rules, new rules in this house. So you will do all the things you're supposed to do. I will not touch anything. I will not wash dishes. I will not clean the house. I will not do the laundry. You will do everything. And no homeworks will be done in my house. Immediately after supper, the lights will be off. And don't try putting them on. So you see, at this point, I saw there's no way out of this. I'd known there's no way out of this, and there was not any other solution that will help me. And now I'm in much trouble than I was. So the only thing I could do is to do the only way I could survive to make sure I was safe is to do my homework in school. All my homeworks, I had to do them in school. Any revision, I had to do it in school. And and anybody will tell you this, that is so hard to do, because you're supposed to have remedials in the evening, and you're supposed also to do your homework. Remember, there are homeworks that you are given during the remedials, and homeworks are given almost on all the subjects. I i at this point in my life, it was tough, it was hard, and I felt like I was left alone. I also want to say something. I said in the first part that I came with a doll. I was still a young girl. So being a young girl, what do we play with? With dolls. There was a day I went to school and I came back. I didn't find my doll. And when I asked, I was told it was thrown. You are a big girl. Why are you playing with dolls? I remember my sister took my dress. There's a dress that I was bought, and the reason why I love that dress, it was so cute. And this dress was well, I used it in there was an my sister's friend did a wedding, and I was a flower girl. And now you see the dress that I used in that wedding, it was so beautiful. When I came to Nairobi, I did not wear it. The next thing I saw was my the friend to my sister, now her daughter was wearing that dress. And I was not told that your dress, I'm going to take this dress and give it to so and so. In my queue, it was still fitting me. It was not like small, it was still fitting me. This sister of mine that was doing these things to me, we are lookalikes. When you see her, most people used to confuse us because growing up, I had I'd say a big body. We were lookalikes. We looked, we resembled each other, even walking style. But I felt like she betrayed me. And these things happen to many people. They happen because the people that are being done to are naive. They are children, and they don't know how to get themselves out of these situations. But for me, I did not just even have anyone to fight for me. There was nobody to ask questions. And mark you, I was living in this house doing all these things, and I had a brother in law. That was her husband. And that man was quiet when all these things were being done. He was quiet. He did not even raise. The first time that he raised, he said, he asked her, "Why are you doing this to her?" It was the answer he was given from that day. He never talked about it. He kept quiet. So I continued with school, grade 7, grade 8, thereabout. And because of what she was doing, I could not talk to her. There were many things that she did not know about me. If she wanted to find out anything about me, she could maybe hear it from someone else, but I could not talk to her. We were two people living in the same house, but two different worlds. And I continued with school. At this point, I did not care if I failed or I did not fail. At this point, I just wanted to, as long as I'm breathing, I was okay. I didn't want much. I was being offered food. I said so in the first part. I was dressing well. And even if I told anyone that I'm going through these things, that person will not believe me because in school I was I was okay. I looked presentable. And I remember at some point I was made the prefect in charge of cleanliness, environment, something of the sort, because I was a clean girl. But there was something else behind me being clean. I wanted to play, but I could not play. I wanted to come back from school looking like someone who has been inside a ditch, but I could not. Because at this point in your life, when you are a child, all you're supposed to think about is to play. But for me, that was not permitted. And so I I continued with my school. I didn't leave school. I continued with my school. My teacher, who I said tried to help me, it reached a point he could not, because it seemed like he would be interfering with my personal life. My uncle also kept quiet about the situation, and I continued being frustrated. I was frustrated, and all I wanted to do was just go back home. But another thing that would make all these things worse was because I was when I was in class 4, I was given a scholarship. So from class 4 to class 8, I was not paying school fees. So leaving a scholarship and going back to Kisumu where your mom will pay school fees full. You see, you'd rather just stay in Nairobi and use the chance that you've been given. And I think she knew that it will be so hard for me to choose going home. 7 and 8, I survived. I survived. I literally survived because it was hard. Every day it was hard. The most painful part of all this was that At some point, my sister told me that, you know what, I will not be buying for you sanitary towels. Go and tell those people that you talk to you talk to about me to take care of that. And she meant every word. My sister will tell you something and she will not sit down and think about it. She will do as she has said. But I thank God for the school I was going to. They could provide for us pads. When it's that time of the month, you just go to the secretary's office and you're given. Apart from that, like I'd said, this teacher of mine, my class teacher from class 4 to 8, I think it was 4 or 5, I'm not sure. He took it upon himself. And you know this teacher, when there was no pads in school, because there will come a time that these pads were not available, he would buy for me. I am so happy. I'm glad that God blessed the work of his hands. He will buy for me pads. Sometimes he'll come to check on me and ask me, are you okay? And this is the only person who made school a bit easy for me. I loved school. I did not want to come back home when it reaches evening. I did not want to come back home because coming back home was like, oh, there was no fun in going back home. You'd rather be in school where you are with others, you crack jokes, you are free. So you will buy from me. He will he will he will take care of me whenever need be. And I thank God that I survived. I survived, but that part of my life traumatized me. And to anybody who maybe knows someone, they may be a child who is going through such things, and maybe you some of us, we don't know what people are going through. But if you get a chance to know what someone is going through, provide that shoulder, be that help, because you can't just sit and say that I'm not my brother's keeper because you don't know them. No, they just need your help. Me, I needed help, and God provided someone to help me. I remember the morning, I will never forget this. The day I was doing my KCP, the first day, we start with mathematics. And that day, because we were supposed to report to school at 8, I will not forget. I woke up, did laundry, and even washed a carpet. I will never forget. Up to date, I still remember that day. But when you met me at school, you could not tell what I was going through. You could not tell. I was happy. But deep in my heart, I was harboring pain. I was harboring so many things. I, you could not tell that I was going through all these things, and most people knew or knew that I was a very confident girl, but it's because at school is where I found peace. So the best part of me, good energy, came from school. I wanted her to just understand that I was being overwhelmed, but I didn't want her to take it in the wrong way. So when this teacher reached for me, asked me, what is going on? Are you okay? Why do you come to school late? And when you get to school, maybe some of your homeworks are not done, or you have not completed. And if done, they're not done well. I opened up to this teacher, and indeed he tried his best, but his best was not just enough, because on the other hand, my sister did not want anyone to interfere in those matters. She did not want anyone to interfere in those matters. She did not want anyone to advise her, because I even had neighbors, but they could not like come to my rescue. They could not come to talk to her. That is what I felt. Then with the abuses, I was not comfortable. I could not even do my own work at home, because you imagine you are from school at 6, for those who went to private schools. You are from school at 6, or early, if it's that early, it's 5. So I thank God up to date that I did not let myself down during the KCPE. I did not perform bad. I performed, I did so good, according to me, according to the time that I had to study, the circumstances, whatever I'd gone through. I did good, and I'm always happy that I made my teacher, my best teacher proud, my teachers proud, because I had teachers who also loved me. And you know, there are things that we see in people when they are young. Me was a leader from back then in school. I was a leader. The reason why I was a leader is because home was not habitable. School was the best place to be for me. School is where I had friends. School is where I had everyone who I could be free with. If you're watching this video and maybe you are raising your child, and there are things that you're doing, when you're doing these things, your conscience speaks to you. We do not have a conscience that is silent. Our conscience speak. And there are things you do even as a mother. When you punish your child, punishment is not bad, but when you punish your child to the extreme, up to a point you're feeling, no, I've punished him or her, but I exaggerated. Stop and go back. Because the moment that this child will harbor these things in their hearts, they will not forgive you. You will not be their friends. You will not be their friends. They will just have you as a mother, they will have you as a father, but there will be no friendship. Me and my sister, we talk, but I promise you, we are not friends. I cannot be friends with her. I cannot trust her. I cannot even, at this point that I'm already grown up. I have children. I cannot like share with her any story, because that door, she's the one who shut it. When I completed my KCP, I performed so good, and she was shocked. She didn't know I could do that. But God, God will will always will always be God, even when your friends and your family have turned their backs. God will be God. In our school, I learned in a private school, and their performance was always the thing. We were doing revision time and time again, and we performed well. That year we performed well, and I'm glad that I performed well, because if I had not performed well, I don't know. I don't know what could have happened because I would have been the talk. The talk. My sister would have talked so many bad things about me. But I I thank God until today that I'm proud of that certificate. I'm so happy that this is my life. This was part of my this was my life. This was my story. Was means it is in my past. And for everyone, if you don't want to live with anyone's child, if you don't want to live with your sister, don't force it. Don't bring someone to your home just to make them cry. So I'll end this video here. I'll do the final part. Yeah. And engage me in the comment section. Yeah. Maybe you can guess what did I get in my KCPE that year. Or maybe you tell me, would you live with someone in your home? Would you like live with your small sister, your cousin, your niece, or even your nephew? Yeah, engage me. Have a beautiful day. This is Eve's Diary by Akin. Like, comment, share, and have a nice day.